everybody. It's David. Welcome from KLM Flight 661, traveling between Amsterdam in the Netherlands and Houston, Texas. On my way back home after spending a few weeks over in the Middle East and just tickled to be home. One of the things you should know about me is I'm kind of an inquisitive person, so I'm always asking questions. I've been this way all my life. I would ask, why do we do things this way? What if we did it this way instead? And it drove my parents crazy, I'm sure. It probably drove a few of my bosses crazy, for sure. And it probably drove my wife, who is sitting right there looking very intent on the movie she's watching, coming back home today. Probably drove her nuts too, but her answers, just as an aside, we've been married for 32 years. If I ask her why we do things this way, her answer is normally because that's the way I want to do it. And my answer to that is, okay. But a lot of the questions that I ask really have a business focus to them, and focuses on innovation, continuous improvement, and hopefully you, the student, can get some benefit from my neurosis here, okay? But asking questions, I believe, is a great management and a great leadership tool. And a couple of things that I wanted to consider today while I was flying home is I'm flying today on a Boeing 747. We're up here in the upper deck, which is, honestly, if you haven't ever had a chance to fly a 747, I think you need to do that. And you better hurry, because this is an old airplane, and many of the commercial airlines are retiring these. I just read recently where United Airlines is going to retire all of their 747s by 2018, and many of the other airlines are following suit. And so I would ask myself, why? Why are they getting rid of the airplane? I also, on this trip on the way over, was able to fly on a brand new, I think it only been flying for a week, a brand new 787. And for those of you in the class who are Boeing employees, what a great airplane you guys are building. It was absolutely fantastic. You know, one of the differences in the 747s and the 787s as I see them is just, as we were taking off today, this thing rumbles down the runway and rattles and creaks and everything else, and the 787 was just smooth as silk. 787, as well as you Boeing folks probably know, have a button that you can push, and it tints the shades. I mean, no longer do you pull shades down, you just push a button and it determines how much tinting you want in the shades next to you. So just crazy stuff. So getting back, I digress. I looked at the 747 versus the 787, and certainly most of the decisions that businesses make today have some sort of cost reasons for them. And you can just look out the window and see that the 747 has 4 engines and the 787 has 2. I'm not an engineer, don't claim to be, but you can figure out that probably 2 brand new engines are much more efficient than 4 older engines. Technology. I have a friend of mine in Seattle who is a engineer for Boeing, and he brought me a piece of the composite material that used on the outsides of the airplanes. It's amazing to me how thin it is. It's almost kind of scary when you think about it. But certainly the technology is much greater than the technology inside the planes. And interestingly enough, it's really not about capacity from everything that I've read too. If you think about it, 747s have more capacity than the 787s do. And Airbus's 380, which is a double-decker bus. I don't know, they seat like 500 people. Certainly has much more capacity, but everything I read about them, they're having trouble selling them, and they may be phasing them out before too long. So it's not certainly about capacity. So just some of the things I think about as I get on the plane. The second thing I was thinking about today is just global alliances. I'm a Delta person. I've been flying Delta for years. They've been my carrier of choice for, gosh, I don't know how long. I just rolled over 2.2 million lifetime miles with Delta. Kind of crazy, right? But the global alliances, they're part of the SkyTeam Alliance that ties in with KLM, Air France, Alitalia, and so on. And hang on one second, I got to order something. Sweetie, can you get me a Coke Zero? Hope she heard that. She had her headphones on. Alliances. One second. Thank you. And so alliances, there's the Star Alliance that United's part of. There's the One World Alliance that American is part of, and SkyTeam. And obviously, where I've been this week in the last couple of weeks, in Oman and in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and in those areas, Delta can't afford to have a home base or a presence there. So these alliances have helped them by making things seamless. So you go to the airport today and you see a listing for your flight, and there may be, one second, Coke Zero, please. And so there may be 4 or 5 or 6 different airlines listed with your flight, and those are part of the alliances that they have come up with. And honestly, it works very well for people like me who travel a lot, because part of the benefit for me is making sure that my status rolls over with different airlines. And so I'm really ambivalent whether I'm flying Delta, KLM, Air France on these international routes, because I still get the same type of consideration for upgrades, for bonus miles, for all of those things, thank you, for convenience and early boarding, for business lounges. And as I take my work with me on the road, I do grading, and it would be really hard to do if I was scrunched up in these seats just like that, or spending time outside of the business lounges. So the upgrades and everything else are really important for travelers like me. And I think you'll continue to see global alliances only get stronger. So just a couple of things I was thinking about as I was boarding the plane today. Sorry, the plane's starting to shake a bit. So whether you're in MSOM 601, you need to understand that problem solving requires asking questions. So as you approach different things, not that I'm asking you to drive your parents, wife, kids, boss crazy, but develop an inquisitive attitude. I've never found that to hurt an individual. And so problem solving requires a tremendous amount of asking questions. If you forget to ask a bunch of questions, then you may be solving for the wrong problem. If you're in MSOM 602, which is servant leadership, it requires not only asking questions, but listening to the answers that you get. One of the things that you'll see in that class is we talk about Southwest Airlines, so we'll use an airline example in that about servant leadership. And then if you happen to be in the capstone course, which is 612, we focus a lot on that, on business sustainability. And sustainability not only asks you to ask a bunch of questions, it asks you to listen to the answers, but then it requires you to make some very difficult choices sometimes. Okay? Man, I'll be home in about 10 hours, so I'm really looking forward to that. And just thought I'd share with you what's on my brain today. All right? Take care.